Welcome back guys, to another new anime, but before we start the video, please know that personally, I really loved the first episode of Wistoria. It looks really promising, animation, background music or OST, and even the storyline was amazing, so without wasting much time, let's start. So the story takes place in a world where magic is valued highly in this world, so naturally, what will happen to those who don't have magic and how would they advance? And our protagonist is also magicless. Yet he gets to the dungeon to kill monsters to earn credits. Will never hesitates despite being magicless, but in the Magic Academy it does get hard to handle things. For instance, when this Edward was teaching the kids fundamentals of magic, he calls out to Will to make him conduct the basic spell he just taught. It was clear that Edward just wants to make fun of Will in front of all the kids because he can't cast even a basic spell. Edward thinks Will has no place in the academy. And there a show-off named Shaun showed the flame spell that Will couldn't cast, although he got a warning not to use it without permission. But what can we do about that sarcasm? Plus even Edward teaches them that magic is absolute and above it is nothing, so the prestigious academy such as this only teaches mages and no talent like Will has no place in here and should drop out. He is too extreme, but Will is used to this and Shaun's bullying, but their Colette is the only one who stands up for Will against them. Because Will is kind and works harder than Shaun. The way she stood up makes Shaun back off for now, but he said, Will could never become a Magia Vander in his life. Trash are just everywhere. And even Colette thinks Edward is a bit too much, but Will accepts that he's talentless, yet he's happy such a cute girl worried about him, but that kind of a pick-up line could make any girl blush, so she asked if he talks like this with others, but Will was taught to speak like this with ladies from a young age. So she really lost her sanity for a moment, but then Will started admiring the magic tower. Well, it's certainly beautiful, and the most powerful mage known as Magia Vander continues to uphold the sky. Long ago, the sky was unknown to mankind and the world was ruled by celestial invaders, but 5 wizards rose up against them and liberated mankind from invaders and cleared the sky, so the title was given to this 5 wizards, Magia Vander. And ever since it's been passed down to the strongest mage until now, and Colette was wondering if Ice Maiden, Albie's Vina is watching them, and Will says yes, she is, sitting by the window looking at them. Long ago young Will had a friend and they talked about moon and sun. Her name was Elfaria, and she wished to get close to the tower to watch sunset. So Will and Elfaria promised to watch it together one day, but the promise was nothing but innocent childhood promise, because Elfaria was the real deal, the first youngest mage to ever become Magia Vander, and as for him, only a talentless piece who couldn't give up on the promise he made to achieve that dream. But for now, he's getting a lecture from Professor Werkner for sneaking into the 7th floor of the dungeon all alone. But Will was still thinking about credits even now. Werkner knew Will had never given up on becoming Magia Vander. So he tells him he needs to clear upper institutes first to go to the tower, and for that he needs to pass written, spell work, and praxis tests, and spell work is out of the loop because he can't use magic, and collecting credits by monster hunting is just impossible, but Will would never give up, so Werkner knew kid had failed to get credits in exam, so to catch up he needs 4 points in just 2 days or he'll get expelled. So bro got into speed mode to find something about 4 credits monster, and Werkner said there's a Baskerville on the 6th floor of the dungeon that could fetch him his credits. So Will got happy for this info and the jealous princess thinks of getting on Will's way in the dungeon because he's a no-talent half-wit, and unknown from that plan. Will was rather excited but his familiar Kiki wasn't, because last time Kitty was burned to crisp fighting Baskerville, and their Shaun was thinking of killing the monster to take the credits so that Will would fail and get expelled, but one of them had doubts that Shaun couldn't handle the monster. But Shaun was a higher noble so that lackey had to shut up. Shaun wants to show Will his place because he is not worthy to even dream of becoming Magia Vander. But then a monster cracked one of the lackeys like a biscuit, and this scream was heard clearly, so Will came down that way to help out the people and saw Shaun was trying his best to fight against an evil sentinel, a rare monster, only 5 in total that could give 10 credits. But what's he doing in the upper floor? And that idiot was attacking the sentinel with fire bubbles. Will knows he's a dead man and doesn't want to save him because of all the bullying Shaun had done, but Elfaria had once told this to Will, that he's kind and brave, but Will thinks she was wrong because all he wants to do is stand beside her and be worthy of her, so with that resolve in mind, he stopped the sentinel, Then Edward tells Werkner that Shaun left to the dungeon and he's on the 6th floor, but if that was the case, nothing would happen to him because Will was there. Werkner showed him through crystal how Will fights. This action looks just like Bell vs Minotaur. But the difference here is just that Will is extremely skillful, that he overcomes all of the obstacles and injured the monster. Shaun couldn't believe his eyes, and Edward couldn't either, so Werkner said Will is an outlined because he has super strength that Mage would never have, plus his body is strong and he has observation skill to grasp enemies' strategy. Will can't use any magic, but that doesn't mean he's weak. He's the only warrior in this magical world, and his slash surpasses even lightning. That's how strong he is. And when Will tried to check up on Shaun, he was so frustrated that he would have chewed his own tongue, and the same goes for Edward. He can't believe in reality, but that's to be expected from the jerks, and as for the credits, Werkner gave him a full 10. So guys, this is the beautiful tale of a wand and sword, Wistoria, and that is where our gorgeous episode 1 ends. So if you saw the whole episode, then subscribe the channel and like the video, because I am really going to bring out all of the episodes of Wistoria, Wand and Sword. So until next time, take care.